All right, guys, welcome back to Basement Talk. Today we got Cory and Maggette back on the pod. This is your third time back on the show.
This is my third time?
Because Julian,
I think so.
remember Julian?
I think, Julian.
Cory might be our most reoccurring guest.
Really, 100%.
He's family.
It's probably because I'm family and I stay down the street. So
He's family to us, and we love him. Dude, thank you so much for coming back.
Man, thank you guys.
It's a
love
pleasure.
you.
Man, thank you guys for having me again, bro.
Our subscribers, too, love you. Like,
Let's talk about it. Cory,
Let me hear this, man.
No, they
I try to
nonstop.
be. I know, but I try to be on Instagram or on social media as much as I can, and then I go dark, and then someone say, "Hey, man, I just seen you on this cool podcast." I'm like, "Bro, it's been like 5 months. I haven't even been on a podcast." But it's back to doing this with you guys, and so I appreciate that, man.
No, of course.
I think our number one comment is, "Dang, Cory's in shape." Every single comment.
Like literally, like everyone's wondering what your training regimen is. We should actually talk about
Let's
that.
talk about
Let's start with that.
That's our number
maybe
one
on a
ask.
weekly basis, even like now versus back then.
I would say, bro, the main thing that I've done, over the course of 20 plus years, and believe this is year 13 of being retired, is making fitness and taking care of my body like a lifestyle. You feel me? Like your lifestyle and the way you handle yourself, if it's in business or in the gym, like it is a representation of you all the time. And so I just didn't want to be, bro, to be honest, like one of the retired guys that are out of shape and then you go to them and then you don't even really know who they are. I don't even want to mention some of the guys' names because, I respect every single player that's played in the game, because
Charles
it's
Barkley.
hard. No, I'm not. Charles is losing weight, man. Him and Shaq and them guys, but it's a couple other dudes, bro, you wouldn't even believe it, right?
Yeah.
So I'll say an example. I was at a game last year, I'm not going to tell you where, but I go to the game and I'm like, hey, man, there goes so-and-so. Do you see him? And I'm looking like, who are they talking about, man? I said, there he is right there. I'm like, and I look and I'm like, wow, this is a dude that I grew up watching and didn't even know who he was because he was like, 390,
Holy.
And so
He's walking?
Yeah, he's walking. But the fact
Can we get a position?
It's power forward. It's power forward.
Emphasis on power.
But what I think I've took the model of a Ray Allen, a Reggie Miller, some of those guys, a Rip Hamilton, like those guys have stayed in shape. They bike a lot. I know those guys are golfing. Ray is doing a lot of golfing, but Reggie Miller is a huge advocate in cycling, and he's done that throughout his career and when he retired. And so when you see Reggie Miller, it looks like the Reggie Miller that you saw playing in Indiana with the Indiana Pacers. And so I wanted to be that guy that not only stayed in shape, but when someone saw me like, wow, that's Cory Maggette that used to play in the league. Oh man, you're in great shape. Or like, oh man, that's Cory Maggette. Man, that dude is a fat ass. Like stuff like that. And so it's to the fact of I just really wanted to represent myself the right way. And so when you talk about like a regimen of training, I think because I've been so busy, this is probably the least amount of time that I worked out. It's kind of driving me insane because I'm here, I'm there, I'm in the country, I'm out of the country, and I haven't been on the training regimen that I really wanted to. And I had this dude, he was 70 years old, and built like a machine that I work with, and I haven't worked with him as much as I really wanted to. So, but I try to stay doing things that keeps me moving. I've had, 6 knee surgeries, Achilles surgery, ankle surgery. So I'm technically I'm like a bust down that's broke down. So I have no other choice but to be in the gym to make sure that I'm getting up every single day. And so I just made it every single day that I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna do my training, and I'm gonna train hard. I'm gonna make sure that I'm doing like everything that I can to maximize. And then on the flip side, I'm making sure that I'm trying to eat the right way. You know, I'm not saying that I'm not going to go eat a cheeseburger, go to In-N-Out or anything like that. But I'm also being conscientious of the things that I'm eating. And then I'm doing all the research possible to see like, hey, man, what can I do to make sure that, you know, everything is flowing properly, right? It's like it's really a science to it, especially when you get over 40. You guys don't know anything about that yet. But when you're at that level, you know, you're making sure that, look, you're probably taking peptides. Like I take peptides all the time because I know this stuff actually works not only for my injuries, but some of the things that, you know, you want to make sure you're continually building muscle, make sure your digestion is correct. Like everything that goes along with it, you have to do it, especially when you're getting older.
How many NBA players are taking peptides right now?
Currently, well, they're not supposed to, right? You're not supposed to take.
Legal, right?
No, you're not supposed to take any of that now. And honestly, bro, I think for all of the guys that are in the NBA, they need to. You know, honestly, you know, those peptides are definitely things that can really help them and speed up the recovery. That's why in the off season, if you're having surgery, a lot of surgeons that are doing more peptide therapy because they know the results, right? And so if a guy has an injury, you want to make sure you're getting some BPC in his knee, right? You know, that BPC is body protective compound, right? So you want to take that inside of your knee or wherever you have that injury and make sure that it is trying to heal whatever you have going on. And it works extremely well.
There's no way LeBron's not on peptides.
Man, listen, I don't know what type of peptide he on, but he's on something.
Some Chinese shit.
Listen, I have to give all the respect to him, right? And we could talk about that even with the basketball part of, you know, with LeBron, but he has been the greatest player to have the longevity that I've ever seen. And not only that is what he's done throughout the course of 23?
Yeah.
23 years, and still at the top. This year, because of some of the injuries that he's had, this has probably been the lowest standard of what LeBron has done. But guys that are averaging 16 or 17 or 18 points are making $200 million a year, and this is year 23.
I think
for LeBron.
He just had his first game under 10 points since 2007.
Yeah, he did. And so that was the game, I believe, was it against Toronto?
Yeah.
Did you see someone was recently out of this? I just saw this clip today. Someone was making fun of his hairline. And then he looked back at the guy and he was like, well, I make a whole lot of money or something. Did you see that clip?
I did not see that clip.
It was the funniest clip. I saw it this morning.
Listen, bro, we all know about LeBron hairline. I can't even talk to him because I'm almost gone.
Yo, me too. I've been stressed lately.
No, but you still got hair on your
Low-key,
head.
it's kind of going.
When did you decide to let it go, though? And when does LeBron need to let it go? 23. You're 23.
Bro, you know what's crazy? I don't even know when I actually let it go. It was just that I was so fascinated by Michael Jordan, right?
Yeah.
And I just like, man, I want to shave my head.
Look like Jordan.
Yeah.
After probably, this was year 5 or 6, and I had braids and everything, right?
Yeah.
And I just said, man, I'm just going to shave my head bald. I shaved it.
Do you regret that?
Huh? You say that?
Do you regret that?
Not really, but I just kept shaving my hair.
Aerodynamic.
Yeah, like I said, man, this is fine. I don't have to go to the barber shop. You know, Julian was Julian, you're the hardest person
Julian
to get a hold of, brother.
Julian's too busy for all of us.
You know what I'm saying? So I just kept shaving it, and then after that, I'm like, man, I don't even know how much it's going to go.
I got something funny.
This is as fast as it's going to go.
I have the funny thing to tell you.
Let me hear
Remember that brand Power Balance?
Power Balance.
Remember the bracelets?
Yeah,
we have it outside the studio.
So we had one of the founders on the show.
Okay.
This was like, he knows you too. His name is Marty Burns.
A couple months ago.
And you guys watching, go back to that episode and watch. It's really good. And he knew Julian also.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, how did he meet Julian?
Because he had a video shoot with Kobe in Newport Beach.
Oh, yeah.
For a Power Balance campaign. And Kobe needed a lineup. So Julian came and lined him up. But Julian was running super late. And then I think I know we've heard stories about Kobe being like a little stingy with his money. I think Kobe billed the haircut to them.
And they said,
And then
Marty said it
Julian-
was the most expensive haircut he's ever seen in his life.
Bro, but
Julian
listen.
charged Power Balance a lot. That's
bro.
what Marty told us.
Listen, Julian, the barbers now, right? And listen, I respect all the barbers that are out there. They're charging, 100, 200, 300. And now they have these cats out there getting these man units, right? So you might be balling. Next thing you know, you come back, you have braids and fro and all that, right? They call those man units.
Like the fake hair.
Yeah. And Julian was charging people $100 back then. That was 20 years ago. So just imagine
Inflation.
you talk about Power Balance. They're coming in like the dude is coming to get a haircut, and Julian's like, "Oh man, that's gonna be $400."
Yeah.
Probably so, because Julian, he has to charge you for him driving out there, traffic. Then he's going back. Some of the clients that he maybe miss. So I mean, I'm pretty sure that bill's like $500.
Yeah, we
$600
called
on the
him.
low end.
We called him too, and he remembered it.
Yeah.
Like
he was laughing.
Of
we
course.
called him off camera, like right before we started airing, and that was like I couldn't
So
stop
funny.
laughing for like 20 minutes. I was dying
I
because
heard
he's
radio.
so nonchalant about it. He's like, "Yeah, I remember that."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was charging you.
Yeah, I charged you guys.
Charge you
I just charged you
1,000 for
for
2 hours.
Yeah.
yeah.
Julian.
Corey, have you seen the stuff with Jaylen Brown with his hair lately?
Oh man.
Wait, any advice for Jaylen Brown? Just for you guys, if you haven't seen it, what's it called that you know the
Yeah,
stuff?
Zach,
that's
why don't you explain what's going on here?
I forgot the name of it. What do you put on your? It's to keep your hairline. It's like a little black.
It's basic.
It's like spray paint.
Yeah, but it's like they call it's
an
back in
airbrush. The
it's-
brush,
It
the
could be
hairbrush.
airbrush, but sometimes they call it Beijing.
Yeah,
or they
that's
call it
it.
some of the fibers that come off from your hair. But I'm gonna say this, man. Like, he's a hairless bandit. If you go around, crashing into people, and all of a sudden you have a hair stain, a black stain on your come on now.
He's marking people up on the court. They got hair stains all over their white
But
jerseys.
see, this is the thing, bro. Like, when you think about social media, you cannot hide anything.
bro, you
You
can't.
cannot. So whoever was the first person to see that, they stopped it, they rewind it, they played it, they stopped it, they rewind it, they posted, then someone else did it, and it went viral. So, I mean, hey man, just let it go, bro.
Let it go. Just
Is
let
he
it go.
still doing it?
Yeah, it's
Oh my
happening
God,
this
yeah.
season. It's
Yeah,
it's a
he's-
repetitive. The hairless bandit, I think, is a
Yeah,
quote of the
he's-
day.
He
he's
should
still-
sell a product around that. That would be funny.
Bro, I'm telling you, you should start saying like, hey,
Jaylen
if you
Brown's
want to,
Beijing.
He should sell it.
Yeah,
probably.
like
if you want
sell
to
it-
keep it for a little bit,
Brown's
That's a good
Beijing.
idea.
and you want it to come off during a game,
yeah, that would
Jaylen,
that
the
would-
hair fiber for men.
that would sell out. Like
know,
that would
right?
sell fast.
Even people with hair just
it's so
are buying
funny.
it.
If you were D'ing up Jaylen Brown, would you be pissed if you had a black streak on your jersey?
No, I wouldn't, bro. I honestly wouldn't. But I'm like, damn, bro, how my jersey so dirty? Like, what happened? But it is what it is.
Oh, that's
All
so
right,
funny.
let's talk about what's been on my mind like a lot recently is like this whole gambling scandal in the NBA.
Man,
And it came I mean it started really popping up like what, like a month, 2 months ago?
yeah.
Like, pretty
could
heavily.
Could you guys get me up to date too? What is the whole
So
scandal?
there's a gambling scandal going on in the NBA. Chauncey Billups,
Chauncey,
Terry Rozier is a current
and,
player.
Damon
It-
Jones.
it was. I'm pretty sure it has to do with rigging games and illegal poker games around the NBA.
The players are in on it too.
Player and Chauncey, who's a former player and coach.
but there's some like mafia involved, like
Yeah, man.
multiple
It's
families
deep.
in the East Coast.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna say this about this, because I am sympathetic to the point of some of the guys that are on there that are former players, and one guy in particular is Chauncey Billups, and I know Chauncey really well. I have the utmost respect for him. Do I believe that Chauncey was literally making tables? So this was the whole thing, that he's making these tables, that he's cheating, and he's cheating out people around him. I just don't believe it. first of all, to be a person that's a Hall of Famer, okay, to have your jersey retired in Detroit, to have multiple businesses that he has, right? Junior Bridgman, God rest his soul, was one of his mentors. And Junior Bridgman was one of the guys that basically started from nothing and built this huge empire of franchises, $500, $600, $700 million. And Chauncey was a huge mentor. They were mentor. And to see that this part of it, that now Chauncey is like kind of halfway coaching and building tables for cheating, it just
doesn't add up.
It just doesn't add up to me, right?
That seems like a lot to do too with your career already going on.
It just seems like it's a lot. And, who knows, right? And I know that I saw something the other day that, he said that he pleaded, not guilty for this. And so who knows what's going to happen? I know it's a big thing and it's not going to go away, right? The one thing that I would say about the whole gambling part, there is not a chance in hell that if David Stern was still alive, that he will allow any gambling.
Yeah.
Because he knew the ramifications behind what would happen. We're seeing this today. There was a kid about 3 weeks ago that literally was on the court in college, and the feds took him off the court, and he's screaming like, "Hey man, they caught me. They caught me." So there's a lot of things that are happening because of what we've seen in the gambling standpoint of betting. Now, it's always been there, right?
Yeah.
It's always been there. It's never going to go away. They've been betting for I don't know how long, right? But what we're seeing now is people, casual fans, they think now that players are, man, they're throwing games.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this, that for me, I knew for sure that everyone that was out on the court when I played or in the era that I played, and they were playing because they were dogs and they just wanted to win. They wanted to compete. And so now we're in a position where everything has changed. And, from the money situation, it's very different. So I don't know truthfully on what's going to happen with that. But what I do know is that I know the type of man that Chauncey is, right? I know his family. He loves his family. And I'm hoping that once all of this, the smoke clears, that he'll come out victorious when it happens,
Just and what I see too is it's starting to like spread to other sports.
UFC.
Like the whole thing with the UFC. Yeah. Like it's happening with the college football stuff.
I do think though it's been there all the time. It's just now
agree.
it's like,
I agree.
people are saying stuff about it. It's always and you can't get rid of it.
They're trying to apply.
How are you
going to
get rid of it?
It's a bad look.
Remember, everything happens because of what? There's a snitch.
Yeah.
All right. There's someone that's spilling the beans. Someone didn't get their cut, and then all of a sudden, what happens is that they're spilling the beans about the situation. Because there's no way if you're running illegal poker games, and this happens all the time, right?
Yeah.
We all know that players gamble or players play, games on a plane. This is nothing new, right? But to see that potentially that the mafia is involved, bro, that's just a whole nother level. That again, sometimes I'm living on the rock, and then all of a sudden you see this news, like, man, what's happening? Like, who's this involved? And so I'm just hoping that the fans, the true fans of basketball, that they know that those players, the real players, are out there trying to compete to win.
100%. If Chauncey was rigging games, I wish he rigged the 2004 finals.
Shit,
I wanted Kobe to get
if you're
number
rigging
4.
games, you ain't doing a good job of it.
Yeah,
I tell you
exactly.
that. But
He was a baller.
Have you talked to Chauncey since?
I have not, man. I sent Chauncey a message when I saw that happen.
Yeah.
And there's probably 1,000 phone calls.
Yeah, sure,
right?
I'm sure.
And then two, if the feds come and get you, they're taking your phone.
Oh, they're
right?
tapped into everything.
So who knows when he'll get that back and be able to communicate with those people. And like my only message to him was like, hey brother, I'm praying for you. I hope everything works out, because I don't know, right? And the one thing that we are in an age now that everyone assumes.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone assumes. There's no validity behind what people are saying or accuracy. It's just like, I assume that this guy did this. And so their representation of that it seems to run with players or situations when it can truly be false, right?
Well, my whole feed after that thing came out was like every mistake Terry Rozier's ever made on the court is
every mistake. Like every mistake. Now the dude, he's been throwing games since he first came in the NBA.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't add up. Now, can a person potentially get bought and something happen within that frame? Yeah, I think it will happen all the time, bro.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that all three of those dudes, right, will go to a verdict where they say they're not guilty. And then hopefully that the media, more importantly, the media will be able to present the right things to 100%. Say about them. Because a lot of times you say things, and then even if a person is innocent and something happens, no one knows about it. And so the perception, people are saying like, oh man, he was that dude that, he was doing the gambling, throwing games, so hopefully that happens.
That would suck for Chauncey too.
Yeah,
NBA
for sure.
champion,
For
great
sure.
point guard. Like for that to tarnish his record would be terrible.
Who was the referee that got in trouble?
Donaghy.
Yeah, did he ref your games?
Of course, Donaghy.
Were you
People
like,
hated
when you
him,
heard
right?
about that? Were you like pissed off?
You know what? There are certain referees that they're like, damn, there's something's going on. This is not right.
Yeah.
I think one of the big things, like even with Chris Paul, I know we're going to talk about CP3, he had the biggest beef with Scott Foster. And Scott Foster is one of the referees, a no-nonsense guy. And before Scott Foster was a guy by the name of Joey Crawford, who he didn't take any mess from anybody. You said something, technical foul all the way. What? You say, you're thrown out of the game. He didn't play, right? And Scott Foster is very similar to that. But also Scott Foster was one of Donaghy's best friends too. So,
and he's still refereeing.
And he's still refereeing, yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. So let's get into the Chris Paul stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You were a Clipper. You were around them. I don't know if you have a relationship with Tyronn Lue or any of those guys, but what's your take on the whole situation? A legend like that getting cut from his team last year.
Listen, it is bad on all parts, right? If Chris Paul just announced at the beginning of the season that he's going to retire, and then the Clippers, they make this huge thing about, welcome back, Chris, and he's going to have like a farewell tour, and then all of a sudden something happens, right? And you cut this individual, which is technically not cut because of the salary cap and all that, and you get a call at 3 a.m. about, hey man, you've been released. It doesn't look good for the Clippers, right? And the reason I'm gonna speak on the Clippers because the Clippers were always, and you guys know this, were always the laughingstock. And there was a group by the name of Lob City that came in and changed it. I know a little bit before we had myself, Sam Cassell, Elton Brand, Cuttino Mobley, and then everyone knows Quentin Richardson and Darius Miles. But then after that, the team that actually started to win was called Lob City. And that was Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, and those guys. And they really changed the trajectory of the way you look at the Clippers, right? Because no one looked at the Clippers of anything.
They weren't a threat.
They weren't a threat at all. And so for a player that will be a first ballot Hall of Famer, he's probably will get his jersey retired somewhere. And what he's done for this league, I don't think it was the right position to do. Now, again, this is a business, right? And the team that is a big business with is an owner that, is probably worth more than all half of the NBA itself. Every owner including, and some other owners. And so to me, it was more of like, okay, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. I don't care what the repercussions behind it, and I'm going to let you go. But if you want to bring other free agents, right? There's one free agent by the name of Giannis that's going to come up eventually, right?
Hopefully the Lakers.
Right? You want people to see your franchise as like, man, I want to go there and play there. all right, that I want to go there and play. Not just I just want to go there so I can get money, but I want to play for that franchise. It's two different things, right? And a lot of players went to the Clippers because it was more about the money. They got the money. And then all of a sudden Lob City changed it and made it where they want to go and play for that team. They want to play at that time was Doc Rivers. Or now they want to play for Ty Lue because Ty Lue is an excellent coach. And, man, I'm telling you, he's had it rough these last 6 or 7 years. And you guys, you know, I've done TV. And I saw all the BS that's happened with the team, players not playing, this and that. It's been a lot. But for the Clippers and the way you want to represent your brand, that wasn't the way to do it. And on the flip side, for Chris, right? Chris is a good guy. Off the court, he's a good guy on the court, but also Chris Paul can be an asshole. And it's not an asshole to the point of like he's being mean, but he's holding people accountable as a star is supposed to do. Remember, the point guard is an extension of the coach. And the point guard sees things that I probably wouldn't see as a wing or a forward. And so when he's able to see those things, you want to be able to, you want to receive a lot of that information. And a lot of times, you know, during his career, he was able to do that. He was able to hold people accountable because they knew what he brought. But when you go to a team, when it's basically your farewell tour, and you don't have that leverage, and the leverage I mean is that you're not playing the minutes, right? You know, your voice starts to diminish, you know. And I feel even if your voice diminishes, in my opinion, to hear information from one of the best point guards to ever play this game, it's always good for players, staff. It's good for everyone. And then for Chris, too, there's a position, too, where you have to learn to adapt to. And I feel like over the years, Chris has done a great job of adapting with every team that he's played with. Just so happened that this team, which was the team that, you know, he had the most success with in more years, that they didn't give him that leeway that he should have had.
It's just fun. I mean, you saw what he did in Phoenix too,
Yeah.
helping Devin Booker out and all those young guys. I don't know why they wouldn't want it with the Clippers. I know Kawhi's considered a vet, James Harden's considered a vet, but he played with James in Houston. I'm sure he had a good relationship with Kawhi. I don't know where it stemmed from.
Yeah, and listen, the Clippers are the worst team in the league, which is crazy. In no way that they should be in that position. And the problem that you see is that the chemistry and the different combinations on the floor are not matching. Yeah. And then plus when you have Kawhi out constantly every single year, that it throws everything off, right? But you have a player in James Harden who's older but still having great success on the floor. But you can't be in a position where your team has been injury prone for the last 6 years. And I'm saying this particularly with Kawhi because he is really the key. And you don't try to bring in new, younger talent because the Clippers are the oldest team in the league. And then you make a trade for a player like Bradley Beal, who's an incredible player.
But he's old.
But he's older, right? And now he's injured. Now, if you would have traded for Bradley Beal 4 or 5 years ago, oh, it's cracking, right?
It's the same thing with Paul George, same thing with James Harden.
Exactly. So you have to find a way to bring in newer and youthful talent, but also for the coaching staff, you have to be able to play those guys. And a lot of coaches, they get stuck in their ways. And I'm not even saying this about Ty Lue, but they get stuck in their ways that they're not going to play some of the younger talent. And now you have these older dudes on the court, and they're going to run out of gas, you know. And you're in a position now where the Clippers are 6-15.
It's crazy.
And they're second to last in the Western Conference. So
I think it's their record shows how the corporation as a whole is dealing
with it. It's, you know? I mean, it's all of it, right? Because even if you get rid of Chris, right? Just think about it. If he's retiring and fans actually signed and bought tickets because Chris Paul is coming back, CP3, the one we see on every single State Farm commercial.
Best Clipper of all time.
Right? They're going to want to pay. So there should be a position that if it's what is it? This is December, January, February, March, April. It's 4 more months of the season. You telling me that you can't, you hate that man that bad that you have to get him out? But also for Chris, like, man, if they can't keep you there for 4 months, you must have been a cancer to the team.
You got to look in the mirror.
Yeah, you also have to look in the mirror too. You know, like, what did he do? And there was several instances that I know that stuff happened within the organization and he had to apologize to the team. I mean, everyone knows this. But in my opinion, there's no reason that Chris Paul should have been released the way that he was released. You know.
On the topic of the Clippers, I wanted to touch on this the last time you were on. I don't think we got to it, but Donald Sterling.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have an interaction with him, and was kind of the basis overview of him being racist and all that type of stuff? Did you see any of that?
Well, I'm going to say this about Donald Sterling. You know, the one thing I would say, my checks were always on time. I never had a problem. My checks was on time, Donald T. Sterling. They were on time. As far as the race car, like, I don't know what happened, you know, with, I believe it was with Magic at that time.
Yeah.
I've never experienced having an issue with Donald Sterling, you know. All I know is very weird on some of the situations where he has like these entourage of people and they're coming in the locker room and you might be half dressed and you're trying to get ready and he said, "Look at my guys," you know, like all this, right?
You're like, what?
So yeah, it was like a little, that part of it was a little,
Yeah, it's a little weird.
a little funny, right? But overall, I would say that I never had a problem, me personally, I never had a problem with Donald, right? I never had it. And at that time, it was Andy Roser who was basically the president.
Okay.
And then you had Elgin Baylor, and God rest his soul. Elgin Baylor was the GM at that time. And I never had an issue with Donald, right? You know, remember, a lot of teams didn't like what Donald Sterling did because he was a real estate mogul. And he knew how to utilize his investments. That means that what? When it was time for contract time for those guys, he was shipping them out, bringing new guys in, and he made money all the time. And then in most teams, like, man, why is this guy making more money? And they're the losing franchise of the organization or of the league. Yeah. While other teams that were winning, they weren't making as much money as Donald Sterling. So he was very smart from a business standpoint on how he did it. He utilized a lot of his relationships of, you know, at that time, practice facility, because we were at a place, it's some place in Manhattan Beach that we were at a health club. Like, that's where we practiced at in the beginning. And before that, we practiced at Southwest Community College off of Crenshaw.
That's crazy.
Like, I remember coming like, whoa, is this the NBA? Like, is this truly the NBA?
Wow.
You know, so it was a difference in the way he handled things, and then eventually, you know, they got the practice facility and all that. But in the dog days, bro, it was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Hey guys, yes, I'm on a private jet, and none of this would be possible without our sponsor, Zill Media. If you need any social media or any content done, or even start a podcast like ours, they are the best in the business. Go to zillmedia.com and mention Basement Talk for a discount on their services. Now let's get back to the episode.
Let's get off this fake jet. Go get back to the episode.
That's crazy.
Who do you think the most overrated player was in your era?
Overrated player in my era. Bro, honestly, I don't think any of those guys were overrated, right? It was just hard-nosed, tough players. You know, I'm just trying to figure out someone.
Maybe now?
Now overrated? Man, you know what? I really try to stay away from calling players overrated because it is so hard in that field, right? To be a professional athlete. And it takes a level of discipline. As you guys know, even in your business, a level of discipline to be in the NBA. And you know what? It might be more people that are more talented, but you found a way to stay in the league. Why? Because you have brought something different. If it's your professionalism, if it's the way that you practice, whatever you did, you found a way to stay in the league. So I don't consider any player in the league, overrated. I feel like those guys have been in a position that they've worked their tail off to get there, and they're reaping the benefits of it, right? You know, from 10 to 15 down, right? The 15 guy.
Yeah.
Those guys could still hoop. Now, you put those guys at 24-hour fitness, they'll kill anybody, right? And so that's the part of it that people really don't understand, because there's a different level of players. Now, you have the top of the top, right? And then you have that mid-major, but still a legit player. Then you had a guy that may be a mid-level, but still a good player. And then you have some of the guys that don't get a lot of minutes, but they're still pretty good, and they can go anywhere.
24-hour legends.
Anywhere. And average 40 somewhere.
Yeah.
So, like I said, man, I just feel like every guy, they've earned their dues to be in the NBA.
I saw a bunch of comments saying like that LaMelo Ball guy is overrated.
Do you
disagree.
believe that?
I think he's really good.
They're not treating him right now, bro.
Yeah.
Well, first of all,
I think he's amazing. I've been watching him since he was in Chino Hills. Like,
think about it. Look where he
he's
came
been
from.
balling since high school.
Look where he's came from high school. You know, the success that those three brothers had.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to say, all right, I'm not going to go to college. I'm going to go basically overseas, find my way, and then get drafted as a lottery pick, was the number 2 pick in the draft.
Yeah.
And then comes in. He didn't start right away. He worked his tail off, and they're like, you know what? We gotta start this kid, because he's 6'6", 6'7", handle the ball, can shoot the three, makes the right decision, and he's shown why he belongs, right?
Yeah.
So when you say a guy is overrated, what is he averaging in the league right now? What is he averaging? What did he average last year? The only thing that you would say about LaMelo Ball is, can he help his team win?
Yeah.
And the other thing is, can he stay healthy? Because he's had injuries over the last couple of years. But as far as the success and what we've seen from this guy, he is super talented. Super talented.
Do you think he needs to get out of Charlotte?
You know what? He will be better off where there's 2 other stars around him, right? You know, the good thing about him is that he can score the ball and he can pass. You know, he plays with great pace. He understands the game. And you need to surround him around another player. But when you have a young kid coming in and all of a sudden the franchise is on his back and you don't really have the veteran leadership or star power behind you with some of these teams that have a star. I mean, just think about the damn Lakers, bro. You got the Dallas Mavericks trades Luka, and Luka's on the Lakers with LeBron, and now you have what is it?
AR-15.
AR-15.
Balling.
Averaging 28 a game. Like, bruh.
Crazy.
You need to have players. It's not just going to be one guy
Yeah.
on Charlotte that can help you win.
100%. They got 8 and 2.
Who do you think's the best defender you've ever faced?
The best defender. It was a few guys. I would say Raja Bell, played for Phoenix, was a really tough, hard-nosed defender. Ruben Patterson was really good back in the day, too. I mean, I believe they try to call him the Kobe stopper, but I don't even say that. Tony Allen was a great defender, you know. But a lot of those guys, they were really good defenders, but they weren't scorers, right? Their job was to defend, and they did their job well. Shane Battier was a decent defender in the league. Like, the dude, you know, gave up his body all the time, you know, taking charges. And now you have a few guys in the league right now that are, I mean, some incredible defenders. I mean, you think about the kid in, you know, the Duke alumni, but Jaylen in Atlanta. Kid can play. Like, he can flat out play. And then it's a few other guys that I feel that are incredible defenders. But, you know, remember, PG used to be an elite defender. Kawhi used to be an elite defender. And those guys are not really elite defenders anymore. And, you know, you see a few guys that have stepped up to the plate defensively that have shown that they can lock people up, but it hasn't been a lot.
Not at all. Not at all. Are you taking 06 Kobe or 2012 LeBron?
Ooh. 06 Kobe. 20 what?
2012 LeBron or 2013. But 06
What's the
Kobe,
difference?
35 points average, 81-point game.
Man. Who was on that roster in 06?
Nobody.
It was just Kobe?
Nobody. They had Fish. They might have had Odom.
I'm going to take
I don't
that.
think they had Bynum yet.
Man, that's a tough one. Because the 06 Kobe, that was a different. Was that employee number 8?
That was
He was employee
he was
number
still
8?
number 8. He threw up 81 that year, first scoring title, 35 points a game average.
Yeah, that employee number 8 was a bad boy, man. He was a bad boy. And like to reinvent himself to 24, you know what? That's what I admire about Kobe, you know, is that think about all the stuff that happened with Kobe. And everyone in the world was just on him, right? You know, marketing and companies left, right? Because of all the stuff that happened. And what Kobe did was continue to build his brand. Anybody know, but build his brand in China. He stayed and built his brand there and kept building his fan base. And then in the middle of that, he just kept hooping. He didn't say anything. He let his game do all the talking. And so for a player in that time to go through, public scrutiny, and that was at his own discretion. He did that by himself. But to go through all of that and to come out on the other side where he was probably one of the most beloved basketball players that I've ever seen, it's incredible to see that, right? To see him reinvent himself. Because it's hard, bro. It's hard to reinvent yourself when something happens. And he was the one that did it.
100%. 06 Kobe's a killer.
Is there anyone off the top of your head that worked harder than Kobe Bryant?
No, I think it was a lot of players that found their own way and they've worked hard. I feel that the model that Kobe has shown a lot of players in this day and age of players, they've done that to the 10th power, right? You see even, like a Jason Tatum works extremely hard. KD, like all of these guys that works extremely hard, they follow this model. You guys got to remember, back in my era and a little bit before, guys never worked out in the off season. They were smoking cigars, they were drinking beers, they were hanging out. They worked themselves back into shape in training camp, okay? And training camp was much longer because coaches and organizations knew, like, oh, man, this guy is 20 pounds overweight. We got to work them back into shape. But now you're in a position where players are like, man, if the season is over in April, man, I want to try to get better. I want to work at my game. I want to make sure if something physically or if it's you're shooting, I want to do something. And so you see guys that are coming in shape, even before training camp. And I feel like it's a blessing for them because now you see they're taking basically a page out of the book what Europe has done because Europe plays all year round. You see a lot of players in Europe, they go back and play with their national team, and then when they come back and play in the NBA, they're rolling, because they haven't had to take that time off. So I think players are getting hip to that and trying to stay in shape and being ready for the season.
100%. What did it feel like to put up 30 against the Lakers with Kobe on it?
Bro, what's crazy about that is that I wasn't playing that much at that time, right? I wasn't playing that much. And so when you finally get your number called and then you go out there and all of a sudden a couple shots go in and you start feeling yourself like, oh, man, I'm cold, but I could do this. And more shots start going and more shots. It was cool because you see some of those guys that you've looked up to and you watched them. Back then we had Kobe and Shaq on those teams, bro. Like those are some
legendary.
Man, those were some crazy, and that's not including who they had on their roster too. If it's D. Fish, it's Robert Horry, like whoever had. I mean, they had a ton. Rick Fox, they had a ton of players that used to be like big time hoopers, right, with their specific teams before they said, hey, we're going to bring it together.
Yeah.
So for me, man, it was just like a great, I would say, more coming out moment as a basketball player that, man, I can actually score in this league, right? I can score. And nowadays, bro, man, getting 30 ain't nothing now.
Yeah.
It's basically like you getting 18, in the NBA, because you see guys that are getting it so frequently because I think guys now.
Well, it's the three-pointers, bro.
It's three-pointers.
The game was inside back then.
But also, too, I do feel the creativity is very different now, right? Very different. Even just, the movement. I think James Harden was one of the guys that started doing the step back. It's like a double step back, and when you look at the rules when it comes to officiating, it's not a travel. Most people think, oh, man, they're traveling now or they're having an extra step. But back in the day, they would call those travels, even though technically in the rule book, those are not a travel.
Is it a gather step?
Yeah. So just imagine if you're dribbling the ball and as soon as you pick up the ball, it's 0.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Your steps, they don't start. As soon as you take that next step, that's 1, 2. So you see people that get away with using the Euro step because they understand, you got to understand the rules in the game and how much leeway that you have with officials. And now it's a guy, I forgot the guy's on Instagram. Damn, I forgot his name.
Lethal Shooter?
No, not lethal, but he's good. But it's a guy that demonstrates how you can manipulate your pivot. And he does all these tutorials about it and gets referees to go and look at it. And before you know it, like, he's actually right when it comes to your footwork. So
it's crazy.
I feel it's like, what is it called? Something basketball. I forgot his name. But
Have you guys seen the Dagestanis play basketball?
who's that?
The Dagestanis?
Like
No.
Khabib, the UFC fighter?
No, I didn't.
Bro.
They don't even bounce the ball. They just run
They just
run
grab it
around.
and they run through each other.
Chuck
it up in the
That's
head.
terrible. That's not
You
basketball.
guys
Oh
haven't
my
seen
God.
That's
that?
like rugby.
I have seen it. It's
Dude,
funny.
it's so funny.
It's hilarious.
That's like rugby.
Oh,
It is.
that shit is so funny, dude.
Do you think like a NBA All-Star team from your era versus like the NBA All-Star team from now, who would win?
From my era, that's a tough one.
You have to break it down. Who's guarding who?
Yeah.
Who's at the one in your
is
era?
Is LeBron in the era?
LeBron's in yours, yeah.
Yeah, so you say LeBron's in the era. I mean, shoot.
Yeah, but this era has KD.
But shoot, KD's in the era too. Like he played,
Yeah.
I played in his, that's a tough one.
I'd say your era.
Let's say early 2000s to 2010 and on.
No. I don't know if they'll be, no.
No?
I think just Kobe and Shaq alone.
Yeah, there's nobody in the league that can guard Shaq right now.
Just those two players alone be the hardest players to guard.
Throw AI in there, KG.
Like, bro, there's no possible way that anyone in this era will be able to guard Shaquille. There's no possible person.
So do you think that then do you think the sport's not evolving like it should?
Well, I think the sport has evolved, meaning that most big men was only considered that you have to be a big lurch and a big dummy and you're down on the block.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to throw down in the post and score down there and you utilize your moves. I mean, we didn't even mention another player there was like Akeem Olajuwon too, right?
Dream
There was
Shake.
another one, right? But we've seen now in this era that players, bigs and power forwards have figured out like, all right, I can actually do more. And you have a lot of these players, even like with Lethal Shooter, you mentioned Lethal Shooter, and he's personally working with those guys on their shooting. And so now you have these bigs that are 7 feet, 6'11", 7 feet, 7'2". Now they can handle the ball and they can shoot. I mean, Kevin Durant is a perfect example. Like Kevin Durant is, with his shoes on, he's a 7-footer
Yeah.
that has guard-like skills.
6'10" on paper.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And can shoot the three, and can post up and got the mid-range. And he's supposed to be a guy that's down on the low block and being a post player. But no, whatever the coaches thought, like he's much better than that, and he showcased his ability. So now you're starting to see that's how the game has evolved, because coaches now have decided, you know what, we're going to go back to the drawing board, and we're going to rip up the things that we thought about what a player is, and we're going to see something else. So now you have more from maybe say NBA 2K, a creative player. Yeah. Like it's so many guys in the NBA now that they are a creative player. Wemby is a creative player. Like think about it. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a creative player.
Jokic just bringing the ball up from the top of the
Jokic, right? Think about it. You would have never seen this in the 90s or early 2000s then. Maybe a little bit, because Vlade Divac Chris Webber was basically similar to those guys.
Yeah, but they weren't behind the three.
Yeah, but what Jokic is doing, it's crazy. It's incredible to see what he's doing, and his basketball IQ as a player is far superior than anyone that I've seen. Like it's way beyond.
His court view is crazy.
And he just understands. And for a guy that's as slow as snails, and he's able to manipulate the game and score, it's crazy. And the only way you can do that, if the game is slowing down even more, that you see more openings.
Yeah.
Right? As a player.
He's utilizing it. Where do you think Giannis should go?
You know what, man? I want to see Giannis in a bigger market, right? Where, I think a lot of people miss out how good he really is because he's playing in Milwaukee. But also Milwaukee has been a great safe haven for him and his family, because it's a slower pace, right?
He's gonna go somewhere this season?
It's potentially
That'll be exciting to see.
Potentially, like, because
it was a good place for him to grow from when he first got in the league.
You're absolutely right. Like, it was a great place for him to grow, and they allowed him to grow, right? Just think about it. If Giannis was in a different market, they might have haven't letting him grow. I mean, you look at like a player like give you an example, like Jonathan Kuminga in Golden State, super ultra talented player, right? But Steve Kerr really didn't like playing younger players, right? And any mistake or thing that happened with Jonathan Kuminga, that you got to sit down. No, you go sit all the way at the back.
Because that team is so connected.
Yeah, right. So it has to be the right situation for a player to grow. I think Giannis is in a position now, wherever he goes, it's going to be good for him, right? But if you want to go somewhere and win, if you want to get out of the damn cold in Milwaukee, go somewhere warm. Like, bro, go somewhere that you can actually enjoy going out like we are. I mean, we wear sweatshirts all year round, bro. Like, those dudes can't do that. You're shoveling snow, trying to get your car to go up. I know the experience in Milwaukee.
It's not nice.
It's not nice.
The last podcast that we had, we talked about you and Kenyon Martin's altercation. I don't know if you've seen him and Draymond going back and forth lately.
I did.
What are your thoughts on that?
You know what, man? Both of those players in their right has a lot to say, right? Draymond was a 4-time champion, defensive guy. Kenyon Martin was an incredible player back when
he in New
played.
Jersey.
In New Jersey, he was the most tenacious player in the NBA during that era. Like, if you put that Kenyon Martin back now, he would just be a handful. Like, the dude would be. I mean, even in our era, he was incredible. Like, he would be even more incredible then. And he had some great supporting cast with J. Kidd and Richard Jefferson, some of those guys that were on that team. I think a lot of it is, right, that for players is that I don't ever want to, like, you guys know this, I don't ever want to talk about players, right? Because I just respect the game so much, and I respect those guys as individuals. And they're in a position where they're getting in the pissing match of, like, I was better than you, or you weren't this good. Now, if you go completely on accolades, right? Draymond probably has more accolades now because he's a 4-time champion. But if you go purely on scoring, and Kenyon will win.
Talent.
you will win. If you go on athleticism, Kenyon will win. If you go on a person that's facilitating to his teammates, Draymond will win, right? If you go on the person that has won and has won championships, you have to go with Draymond, right? But none of those players in there, right, was a slouch, right?
Yeah.
Was Kenyon Martin probably a better player than Draymond? Yeah, I believe that. But Draymond is, of course, a better winner.
Yeah.
Right? So I think both of those guys, and that's why, like the older generation and then the newer generation, there has to always be a respect level.
Yeah.
Like I'm never going to come out and bash a player because there were so many great players before that made this happen, right? That made players in a position where they're making 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 million dollars. Like, so why would I disrespect one of those guys, you know?
Well, let me ask you this then. What is the best statistic to look at between players? Rings? Points?
You know what? And majority of guys, I mean, you look at, everyone makes fun of Charles Barkley, right? Because he didn't win a ring.
Yeah.
But Charles Barkley was a hell of a player. Like he was a talent. At 6'6", a load. No one could stop him on the court. He was an MVP in the league, right? So there is a lot of accolades that you can look at. But I think now of it, people only look at the part of if a guy won a championship that elevates them more than everyone else. But there's some really good players that you probably don't even know about that were dominant in the league but never won a championship. So it's really hard to look at that. Like if you look at a player like like a Steph Curry, there's a huge difference in Steph Curry, right? Because he's won 4 championships and what he's done as an MVP in the league, there's a big difference with that comparing him to someone else.
The league could be different if Steph Curry didn't win.
It's a big difference, right? But like you said, you know, a lot of people are holding on like, what do you consider a person if they're considered a winner or whether they're a good player? Only if they're looking at their personal accolades, right? It's a tough one, but most people want to see winners, right? You want to see people like, okay, he was a multiple-time All-Star. He had a couple of championships. Like you've solidified yourself from there. But there's a lot of players in the NBA that have probably averaged over 25,000 points that you don't even know that they were really good players but never won.
Karl Malone.
Kobe,
Dominique.
what about like in soccer, like a Ronaldo versus Messi? Like, what do you think a statistic would be?
That's a good one.
Right? Like,
That's a
what
good
would
one.
make them better? Because Messi has the World Cup, Ronaldo doesn't, but I feel like Ronaldo's better still.
But Ronaldo has the most goals ever.
Yeah. Well, that's LeBron.
But
that's
then
LeBron
who makes
Jordan
them?
right
Exactly.
there.
So it's the same. You just
Jordan
It's
has
the
the
same.
titles.
Do
LeBron
you
has
know
the
what you
most
could
points
say
ever.
to that then? Like,
I mean, technically, on paper, Messi, he has more Ballon d'Ors. He has the World Cup. He has more of like but
is he better? Like, is he?
I mean, I'm a Ronaldo fan, but yeah, it's the same.
I'm a fan of both of those guys.
Me too,
Because
me
of
too.
what they've done for soccer.
For sure.
Right? Well, when you looking at resumes, you have to look at the other individual's resume, right?
Yeah.
Is when you're looking at resumes. But when you're looking at a play, it's almost like if they're competing against each other, right? Then you can really see who's better.
What are
Like,
their
you
stats
know,
head to head?
Yeah, when you play against a guy that's supposed to be better than you, and you go out there and dominate, and every time you play against that dude, you dominate, even though he's won more rings.
You know, deep down.
He even knows deep down.
You got the edge.
You're right.
Right?
You're
he
right.
even knows.
You're right.
Right? He
So
knows that there's one guy that's
And that's what's
he's
crazy
better.
is like
What is that with Messi and Ronaldo?
No, that's
though?
what's crazy is like it's
Ronaldo.
pretty even though.
No,
Like,
Yeah.
that
Ronaldo.
Barcelona era versus Real Madrid was like head to head to head to head. It was
Who would
always
you say is the most well-known?
Ronaldo
Ronaldo.
for sure. He is.
Well, what do you think LeBron would say to Kobe in that situation?
They never got that matchup like that in the playoffs.
You don't think so?
They just never met when it came down
but
to
remember,
game time.
Kobe was still much older.
Yeah.
Right? Even when you're talking about the LeBron and Kobe, I mean, LeBron and Mike, just say LeBron and Mike, right? That era, right? If you can see both of those players in the same era, you can really say, like, all right, you know who's better.
Yeah.
Like, you really know who's better. Now, you guys know I'm a big Chicago guy. I'm from Chicago. And I am a huge Michael Jordan fan, right? I feel like Michael Jordan is the greatest player to walk on this planet, right? But then on the other side, because I was actually able to play more than 10 years against LeBron, right, opposed to the couple years I played against Mike, you see that LeBron is the greatest all-around player and longevity player that's ever played. There's no other player in all the sports, in every sport, that can do what LeBron has done consistently for 23 years. 23 years, and he's still going.
He could have played any sport too.
But he's playing basketball, right?
Yeah.
And so you think about a player. Come on, just think about this, right?
That's crazy. It's insane.
It's crazy.
It's like unhuman.
For high school, he came out of high school,
18.
fellas. Came out of high school with everything on him as far as like, oh, you're supposed to be the chosen one. Remember the Sports Illustrated? Yeah. You're the chosen one. I'm the king and all this. As an 18-year-old kid.
That's crazy.
And all the players that he watched growing up, that he's played against, that he felt like was so much better, he has demolished every single record. Every single one. And still counting.
Yeah.
So what do you say about that guy?
So I'll ask you the question, because this is what a lot of people bring up when it's Jordan and LeBron, is the fear.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people say, yeah, LeBron's good, but he wasn't feared.
Michael Jordan was feared, okay? He is probably the greatest competitor on the planet, okay? If you put those two together, as far as that killer instinct, it's always going to be Michael Jordan, in my opinion. All right, but LeBron did it a different way.
Yeah.
Sometimes LeBron passed up to be the guy to take the shot for someone else. He understood it. It's almost the point of LeBron was so much of a point guard that made the right play every single time. Michael Jordan was the guy that, okay, if I got the ball and it's crunch time, listen, guys, I'm gonna do it all.
Yeah.
Later on in Michael Jordan's career, he started to make plays for everyone else. If it's John Paxson, if it's Steve Kerr making those big shots in those playoff series that he's seen. But when you look at those two players, there's no comparison for either one of them. They're literally in the Mount Rushmore of themselves. Like, you can't even put another player next to LeBron.
Yeah.
And you can't even put another player next to Michael Jordan. And maybe people want to figure out, like, Kobe Bryant was the one mirror of Michael, and they had the same mentality.
There for sure.
But again, LeBron and Michael Jordan is totally separate.
Well, who can you compare right now? Like, who has a trajectory to be the next person? I'd ask you.
Well, I think Giannis he's already there. I mean, as far as what he's doing, and you look at his numbers every single night, bro. It's just crazy numbers. I know he's hurt with the calf injury, but you see what he does as a player, and you're like, wow, it's amazing. Then you have this young talent in Victor Wembanyama. This is crazy. He might be a player that can break every single record. If it's blocks, if it's rebounding, possibly scoring, if he's healthy.
Wow.
He might be that guy. He is a generational talent.
He's what, 7'4"?
Yeah, that can do everything. right?
7'4", but he moves like a
Ooh,
guard.
you know,
What size shoe is he?
You know what I'm saying? He
15.
could do everything. And then it's some
15.
other players, right, that
20.
that are also generational. Like Luka, he's a generational
He's a
talent,
beast.
bro.
His
And
body looking too is so funny. The way
you
got a
when
little
you
Luka
watch
build.
him play, it's like, damn, I can't believe that he's doing all this to those guys, right? But you look at some of these players, but remember, all of these guys that are coming in that are generational talent, they're from Europe.
Yeah.
They're from Europe.
they are.
Just think about it. They're from Europe.
What's over there?
Well, that goes back to
What's over there?
It goes back to what they do. I mean, remember back in Europe,
They're all year
practice.
round.
They're all year round. They really focus on the skill, like know, skill.
Wait, where was LeBron
you see it.
from? Where is he
Cleveland.
LeBron,
Cleveland?
yeah,
What
from
do you think?
Akron.
LeBron was from Europe?
No.
From Akron. It's just,
LeBron's from Italy.
you know,
Man.
different. They're
Is there anything that like you're looking forward to in the new year? Because this should drop right before New Year's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This episode, like, is there anything anyone could be looking out for?
Maybe
or
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Anything exciting for you?
Well, you know, I think in general is that, you know, NBA Europe is going to happen. There's some cool things that are happening. NBA is expanding, and you know, without me saying a lot of it, there are some cool opportunities out there that you're going to see, and you love to see that the NBA is taking this global approach. I mean, you guys all seen this, is that there's more games that are happening in Europe and you're getting more of a fan base, right? There's a reason why that's happening, right? So you're going to see more of that. But also, too, is it's been cool to watch some of the lesser teams that we've seen over the last 5 years start to make a huge jump. You know, we saw what OKC did last year. They won a championship.
Yeah.
They're 23-1 right now. They're trying to go out the Golden State's record. And then on the flip side, the number one team in the East, like you would have never thought this, is the Detroit Pistons. And what Cade Cunningham and Jaylen Brown, they've been doing as players on the court.
Bloody.
So for me, I'm always interested to watch what happens with those teams, you know, with San Antonio. San Antonio is a huge buzz around them, right, because of Victor. Like everyone wants to watch the San Antonio Spurs. Remember, nobody really wanted to watch the Spurs because they're gonna, it's more robotic, right? You knew with Tony and Manu and Tim Duncan at the era,
Playbook.
and now you have like more of a buzz that's behind, the San Antonio Spurs. So, I'm looking forward to all of that, and major success with some other things.
Yep.
There to come.
100%.
Awesome.
Well, this was awesome.
Thank you so much for
thank
coming
you guys
on.
for having me, man.
You're welcome anytime.
Always welcome.
Appreciate it.
Literally
Always
come
welcome.
anytime.
Appreciate it, man.
I know you're always
We
busy.
appreciate you.
Yeah. This is
Tyler,
Most viewed
Zach.
video on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
What's that?
Your most viewed video on our
You're
YouTube
You
channel.
broke the
man, we
record.
Come on.
They love you.
I
They
gotta
love
get
you,
another
dude.
one, man. I gotta get another one.
It's about the Kenyon Martin fight.
It's the Kmart.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, when I think about that, bro, it's like my buddy Eric Hamasaki worked for the Clippers for like 27 years, bro. And when that all happened, and I know Kmart, I know you watching all this stuff. You watch social media. I didn't think that it should have went there. We were losing, and I'm like, I'm still a young dude. I'm still trying to play, right? I'm going through. I'm gonna go, and I get wrapped up. The first play was a dunk. The play before that, then the next play, he wrapped me up, and as he wrapped me up, I just kind of swung him off me. It wasn't anything like malicious towards him, but then Kmart was an enforcer back then, bro. He was a true enforcer, and so. He got mad. Next thing you know, is a huge ruckus when you come to that. But I remember after the game, right? I had my man Eric Hamasaki like, Hama, man, my grandfather just called me, right? And he was like, hey, Cory, you're not representing the family the right way, because he watches every game, and he's like, man, I got to go apologize to Kmart, right? So I told hey man, go to the locker room, and tell him, take Kmart, I want to apologize for what happened. And so Eric goes to the locker room and goes and talks, hey man, Cory wants to talk to Kenyon. What do you want to talk for? You know, he was mad. He was in the background. He's like, hey, he just want to, man, I don't want to apologize, you know, because in the heat of the moment, right? But for me, in that instance, like, you know, my grandfather, he was a pastor, and he calling me like, man, you're not representing the family the right way. Like, I felt like it was the right thing to do. But again, when you're in the heat of battle, and New Jersey was one of the top teams in the NBA. You know, they're one of the top teams in the NBA because of Kmart and because of J Kidd and because of RJ, right? So when you look at that standpoint, our team sucked, bro. We had to find something, right? And it just so happened when that last, I don't even know how much time, it wasn't even that much time on a clock, right? But it turned out, you know, to be something that it shouldn't have been. And, you know, again, I've already squashed that. You know, I've talked to Kmart. I don't have any beef with him. But that goes back to when you're trying to be a competitor, you know, stuff is going to happen, bro, no matter how you do it, right? If you're going out there to compete on the court and you feel like somebody crossed you, there's going to be a problem. You know, nowadays you see more guys, they doing talking. But back in our era, before that,
Get down.
It's going to be some punches thrown, you know? So that's what happened.
At least he didn't do you like Karl Malone.
Well, shit, man. Man, Karl Malone, man, he done broke my bone in my face and everything, bro. Like, come on, Karl, man. Elbow me on the face.
I don't know. Sorry, I'm just...
Quick story. I know.
Oh, I got to tell you that story. So this is preseason with the Clippers, man. And Karl Malone's on the Lakers. I believe he was on the Lakers then.
Yeah, 04?
Yeah, I think he was on the Lakers then, right? And, you know, it's Karl Malone, right? You know, from Jazz, you know, his resume, whatever.
He's big. He's huge.
And so here I am. I'm like, man, I'm about to try to go dunk on Karl Malone, man. So I'm go off and I take off, try to go off, and Karl Malone try to go up and block it. But instead of him blocking, he elbowed me all in my face, bro.
Like this? Like
like, boom.
Oh, shit.
And all I know is that all my teeth came out.
No way.
Bro.
All of them. Whole front, all of them came out. Came out.
All of your teeth.
Bro, all my teeth. He literally shattered my teeth. I was in surgery, bro, for almost 4 years of trying to get stuff, even like crack the bone in my mouth and everything.
Your jaw was broken or no?
No, I had this crack, like literally right here.
Oh, shit.
From that. But I never forget, man, like when my teeth shattered, Quentin Richards was like, man, bro, man, there go your teeth all on the floor right there, man. And so it was, hey, bro, I mean, I was I'm talking right, I'm screaming at Karl, and he just stood there like, man, what is this dude talking about? I got blood coming all out my mouth and everything.
You got taken out by the mailman.
Man, I got taken out. Mailman took me out, bro. Had my teeth in the mail, you know?
Did it feel malicious, like, or no?
No, it didn't. It did. You know, I was pissed. But I tell you this, bro. For the next year, and I don't know if people knew, I had like wooden teeth in my mouth, like wooden teeth. Because I had to keep doing those scans, right? They had to keep scanning it.
Yeah.
Dude, they kept with the bone and trying to fix the bone and everything. So I was walking around with wooden teeth in my mouth, bro.
Oh.
And I never forget, bro, I went to dinner, bro. And I'm at dinner and one of my dude.
Were you on a date?
I'm telling you, bro, I was out. I forgot who I was out with, but my teeth kept falling out. I kept going back to the bathroom.
Pop your teeth back.
Bro, it was crazy, man. So it was like a whole process.
That's nuts.
From Karl Malone. He messed me up, bro. Like he literally messed me up.
You couldn't eat the same too,
bro.
huh?
I could not. No.
You can't. When did you eat meat? Like,
bro, I was chewing from.
He was having soup. He was going to Panera.
It was crazy.
that's
I'm
terrible.
telling you, that first 2 months, I was doing protein shakes, mostly on protein shakes, because I couldn't really chew because of what he did, and I was having literally when I tell you I was having surgery on my mouth every single year because of that. It was the worst.
That's gnarly.
Who was the doctor? Who was the doctor? Dr. Laska. He was the dentist, man, that took care of me, and the doctors here in OC. They took care of me, but it was a process, bro, to have these pearly now. It was a huge process, bro. Huge process.
Wow.
Do you still feel any pain or no?
No, I don't. Not anymore. I would say when I was playing, after year 9, it was still an issue. Like you still felt.
My God.
Yeah, bro.
That's crazy. We got to bill Karl Malone for those
Man,
dentist
I'm telling
bills.
you, bro. Like when I tell you I was in the dentist every year. I was in the dentist. When the season during that time, like, hey man, a tooth fell out. All right, Cory, come on in. Put it back in. We got to try to get, because everything was temporary, right? Yeah. All right, come back in. Hey, doc, man, I got to figure this out. This front tooth fell out. All right, come on in. It was just like that.
Did that give you PTSD to dunk?
No, bro. I would say I was most embarrassed about if I had to do like a signing or if I did an appearance or if I went out to dinner.
Tooth falling out.
Damn, is my tooth going to stay in? Like when I tell you, had wooden teeth. Yeah, it was just crazy, bro. That was
so crazy.
The old age.
Yeah. He's good now.
I'm good.
Well, thank you.
Man, no
this
problem.
is awesome,
Thank you,
bro.
brother. Appreciate you guys. Really appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Everybody follow Cory on Instagram.
100%.
Follow Zach and Kyler. They need more followers.
No, we don't.
They're slacking.
No, we don't, dude.
But follow Cory.
Come on, no one's watching
guys,
for us.
Please
Come
like,
on.
subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace.